Hello, my astrology friends. This is Lada from AstroladaCom, and these are your June 2025 horoscopes. June is very interesting month. We have Jupiter moving to Cancer on the 10th of June. For the last 2 years, Jupiter, the great benefactor, the one that's supposed to give abundance, growth, healing, expansion to every one of us, has been in two signs where it's very weak in Taurus and Gemini. So these qualities of growth, expansion, optimism, you can see it even around the world. They have not been so easy coming to us. But Jupiter moving into Cancer is where it's strongest. And it will stay there for a whole year till next summer 2026. So those qualities of growth, of opportunities, will multiply, will become bigger. The ability to grow and to expand will become bigger for us over the next 1 year. I mean, fertility as well. Jupiter in Cancer is very fertile. The fertility of the land, the fertility of the animals and humans themselves should improve. So should the conditions of families. Cancer rules normal families. The good qualities, the good conditions around the world for even buying real estate should improve. For maybe laws will be, Jupiter rules laws, will be accepted kind of around the world in different places. That will give more preference for families, for normal people, which is Cancer. So we have a lot of wonderful things that are going to start the inception gradually from June. But initially, before this growth, this opportunity comes to us, right in June and July, Jupiter will receive a challenging aspect from Saturn and Neptune, because simultaneously in the whole June and the whole July, we're going to have Saturn and Neptune together in the sky. This happens once every 35 years. The last time Saturn and Neptune were together was the fall of the Berlin Wall, a big, huge socio-economic change starting to happen. And so the times are, this Jupiter, yes, will help us grow, but at the same time, we have very unstable social, economic, political times. And June and July are a peak. And again, Saturn and Neptune will meet in February 2026. And so the whole 2025, 2026, even into 2027, we have this Saturn-Neptune conjunction that starts a new cycle. But it's very powerful in June and July, because it's not only Saturn and Neptune, but the Jupiter squaring them. So the three gas giants are interacting in June and July. Plus, towards the end of June, there will be a new moon. The sun, the moon, and Jupiter will align in one line like that together. While at the same time squaring, which is a challenging aspect of corrections, of growth, of some crisis, will square Neptune and Saturn. So probably the peak month of 2025 of some very important social, economic, political, and even natural events. Watch out for big natural events happening. Two of the planets, Saturn and Neptune, are in Aries fire, and the a new moon with Jupiter, the moon, and the sun, the other three super important bodies in our solar system, is happening in water, in Cancer. So there can be this play in nature between fire and water. In some places it will be water big events, in other places there will be fire big events. We don't know which, but I have to put it out there. And internally, this is the clash of water and fire within us. And what happens when water and fire bring together? It's steam. It will get steamy. It will get tumultuous. This is also volcanic energy. Volcano fire erupts and falls into water, Cancer, where the other planets are, and solidifies into something. So water and fire can create earth. They can create something new, tangible, and real. But the initial clash, it's intense. They actually, even in esoteric knowledge, we know that the battle between the creative forces happens on the verge of water and fire, where demons and angels battle each other, but they together create the reality that we have. So we have this massive epic battle of the giants, of the Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, the sun involved as well. So there'll be tension within us. Imagine water is emotions, fire, it's so fire is an impulse to act, so the emotions will be very intense. There will be a lot of emotionalism in our reactions. So be aware of that. And because Jupiter is the desire to expand, to grow, optimism, faith, Saturn is the impulse to block that. So there will be moments of I feel very high and excited and inspired in June and into July, and moments where I feel the energy of Saturn. So seesaw, optimism, pessimism. Yes, I can do it. New inspiration. A new moon aligns with Jupiter, the sun, and moon in the first degrees of Cancer on the 26th approximately of June. And that's a powerful impulse for new beginning to fructify, to give birth. Cancer is a very motherly sign, creative sign, to give birth of something new that is, it will be very fruitful. But we have to overcome some challenge, and it might be the challenge of reality. Saturn rules the rules of the world, the materialistic obstacles we need to overcome, or the materialistic laws and rules that we have to follow in order to fulfill these new visions. Because definitely Jupiter in Cancer wants to give birth to something brand new, beautiful, very expansive and very fruitful. But at the same time, specifically in June, we have to overcome some obstacles. And this energy, how we're going to feel it collectively and internally. First, the markets, the financial situation can be quite crazy in June and into July. They can be, every time Saturn squares Jupiter, in the last year, we had it 2 times over the last 12 months. We always had the markets plummet because there's some rearrangement of layers. So we can expect something like that, similar as well. Also in personal financial circumstances, some rearrangements of layers and uncertainty, or having to overcome some obstacles as well. But generally, what Saturn square Jupiter is asking us to do is to build something new on the something, maybe, breathe new life into old plans. Saturn is something old. Jupiter is something new because it's just starting a new cycle into Cancer. And so we need to breathe something new into the old plans, or we can bring new something new wants to be born out of the old, but maybe through a crisis, because we have this square. And the other way we can see this energy playing out is we need to sacrifice something. Saturn Neptune conjunction, it's about sacrificing or giving up something in order to allow another area of our life to grow up. So if you have such themes in your life, no matter where it is, just know is that this big battle between all those planets here. Give up something or sacrifice so we can grow in a different direction of life. It's okay. Another way Saturn Jupiter square can play out is to realign your plans and goals, especially in business, especially the ones that are about the worldly achievements, because Saturn and Jupiter rule the external world, your goals, and realign them to make them more practical. And especially Saturn squaring Jupiter asks us to kind of pare down somehow our endeavors and concentrate our energies on some kind of more practical or fewer projects, or more high quality projects. So instead of big number, so if you spread yourself thin in a few places, you're doing a few things. Now it will be the time, June and July, paring down, just focusing on the really high quality projects or really high quality decisions in your life, and removing certain excess ones. So there is this concentration, but also whittling down of excess, whittling down of too many things, to focus on something very high quality, because Jupiter in Cancer is very high quality something, but just not too many things. And another way it can play out as well, and it's to cut down your liabilities, because Jupiter can also indicate expenses where we spend too much time or money or energy or emotions that is basically a liability, that it's a waste. Saturn will show us what is a waste to remove it when it's squaring Jupiter. So really beautiful things will come through Jupiter in Cancer, but more towards the second part of the year. More will start feeling it when Jupiter becomes visible and stops squaring Saturn, which is from August. Those opportunities will become easier to grow into, to expand. This very powerful growth of Jupiter in Cancer. Jupiter is the strongest there. Growth, abundance, wealth. Jupiter rules all of those things. Joy, happiness. But June and July, it's still it's time where you whittle down, where you spread yourself too thin, extra expenses, extra liabilities, where you've been overdoing, where you have been overspending yourself thin, or overspreading yourself thin, or overspending will come under scrutiny during that time. But this is the preparatory stage for something big and something wonderful that you'll be blessed with over the next 1 year. So even if you have moments of uncertainty now in June and July, moments of like a crisis, like in a battle between light and darkness, between confidence and because Jupiter symbolizes to have faith, to be full of confidence, and Saturn is kind of like putting a brake on it or making you question what is realistic, what is not. But there will be some new ideas that are born, especially towards the end of the month, of very powerful new circumstances that are born and opportunities into your life towards the end of June, after the new moon in Cancer, while at the same time it will require either sacrifice or scrutiny or some real alignment and rearrangement of your other plans and other responsibilities, so you can focus on the things that are really important. And the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, I'll speak a lot more about it in the July videos, but it is happening. I think worldwide it will be very strongly activated in June, because Jupiter and the new moon trigger this conjunction in June. So watch out for big geopolitical, social, economic, big shakeups and new beginnings as well, because these are cardinal signs. Cancer and Aries, these are signs of new beginnings. Cardinality means to new circumstances, new beginnings. But because they're at a square, it's like you're moving forward with new beginnings. But I always love to give this example, but the cart is moving forward. Big spin of the wheel is happening, but the wheels of the cart are square. So, so the journey starts like that. Rough. Yes, new things start, but it's a rough start. And it's normal sometimes, it's I also, Saturn Jupiter is when you can curb certain overindulgent behaviors of yourself. It can be addictions, because Jupiter can be like overdoing something, and the initial stages are difficult. It's about retreating from society, going through the pains of not having what you usually indulge with. But after that, the abundance and the growth and the reward follows. Maybe I think we'll start seeing it from August. Whatever sacrifice we did, whatever more difficult choices we have to make now in June and July, and to prioritize in some direction. After that, especially September, October, November, December, such wonderful things are coming collectively to the world and individually, because in June starts the square of Jupiter and Saturn. But in towards the end of the year, so let's say the autumn in the northern hemisphere, Saturn and Jupiter hold a trine for 2 months. So there will be a big reward as well, big growth. But the new beginnings are now a little bit rougher, with some difficult decision, but they can be extremely, and down the line, they will be extremely productive, helpful, and let's say rewarding, especially if you do the hard work now. When Saturn and Jupiter, they require to keep a very moral principle stance of yourself. All right. So, and Saturn, Neptune, what can we talk about it? Again, it is connected to natural disasters as a possibility. It is connected to big political world events that will change. But this cycle lasts 35 years ahead. So we'll just see the seeds now of it. Because it's in Aries, it will be new political moves, new leaders, new direction of economics overall that will start just like when Saturn and Neptune joined last time in the early 90s, late 80s, the Berlin Wall fell, the communist regime in Eastern Europe fell. It was a brand new world. And the whole map, geopolitical, economically, will be rewritten over 2025 and 2026 through the Saturn-Neptune conjunction in Aries. It might be in very harsh ways as well, through very strong leaders or very unapologetic means, because Mars, Aries, doesn't touch lightly. It's like, does, uses force basically. But there is another way to describe the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, which starts in Neptune in June and July. It's your ideals, which is Neptune, your belief systems, which is Neptune, will form and will be able to lay the foundations of something tangible and real, which is Saturn. A friend of mine had a vision about this combination, and she says it was given to you. I have very psychic friends. She wrote to me and says there was a message from Spirit towards you. And she said, I don't understand it, but it's for you. And she says, the waters you have chosen will build shores where there was none before. And I said, this is Saturn-Neptune conjunction that is just starting. The waters you've chosen, the emotional alignments, your beliefs, the water rules this, your beliefs, your ideals, and will determine, and also your, imagination. The waters is imagination, your inner world, your inner vibration, your soul qualities will build and will be able now to build shores where there was none. So you can create out of thin air, which is kind of Neptune, out of the imaginative, the idealistic world, the ideas in your mind, your inspirations, your dreams, you can make them into reality. And not just in June, July, this is a 1-2 year process, but it's starting now. What ideals are you going to get now? And how are you going to manifest them? Or what kind of inspiration, Neptune, are you going to receive now? Very rare. It's not going to happen again for 35 years. And how are you going to fulfill it? And let's start with the 12 signs, but I also have prepared for you Uranus in Gemini, which happens in July. A 5-hour webinar with 100 pages PDF with absolutely every possible aspect. Say if you're Leo, Venus in Leo, or Moon in Sagittarius, Uranus will oppose you, sextile you. What does it mean for you? And how Uranus in Gemini will affect you for the next 8 years. And I give even for the hard aspects, very optimistic outlook, what to look and what to expect for the final result, because the final result is what we're looking here, not the turbulence of the transit itself. But so you can keep the goal and the purpose, the spiritual and even material purpose of this, what it is. So you make sense of Uranus, because when Uranus affects us, everything changes in the life, everything suddenly. Without the warning, bam. One day is one way and the other day your reality is different. So you can check it out. It's only $19, $20 for usually something that would cost $200. I want to make it affordable for you. So if you're interested, click on the link in the description below. And you can own it. For early birds, it's $20. It becomes $30 after that. Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, June 2025. Aquarius, we have to say goodbye to Jupiter in our 5th house, which I really enjoyed. It was so uplifting. It was directly trining us here with a good aspect and expanding us, our self-expression, our ability to have fun, to enjoy ourselves, to find our true voice, let's say. And it's going into our 6th house, but there'll be good positive sides of that as well in different areas of life. So you start feeling a shift gradually from June. Maybe you'll notice it even more into August when Jupiter becomes visible, because first it's invisible in June and July because it's next to the sun. So more the internal aspects of Jupiter in the 6th house will be felt, which can be like an increased desire to improve our health, increased desire to find knowledge about how to maintain our health, how to have a better well-being, mental, physical health and well-being, improve desire and joy from daily routines. Daily routines. The sixth house is the boring stuff. I wake up in the morning, I brush my teeth, I drink water, whatever. But Jupiter is knowledge. Jupiter is wisdom. It's intuitive knowing as well. Like maybe you'd come across spontaneously across an article that is exactly, because there's so much advice nowadays. Oh, you shouldn't eat eggs, or you should eat eggs, or you shouldn't eat meat, or meat is the best food. And we get so confused in that abundance of information. But Jupiter is you knowing intuitively, or even your higher self feeding you the right pieces of information, the right pieces of knowledge that are exactly right for your health, exactly right to improve your well-being, physical, psychological, because sixth house is about how we maintain our body, our imbalances in our life, how we address them. So Jupiter will start giving you knowledge and glimpses and intuitive realization. What is the right thing for you to rebalance yourself, to rebalance your hormones, to rebalance your gut as well. Your sixth house is connected to the gut, to the stomach in Cancer, in the sign of Cancer, and Jupiter is exalted there. So those intuitive bite sizes or intuitions, or it's like maybe you find the perfect doctor for yourself. Sixth house is doctors, healers, that will be able to help you resolve a long-standing health issues over the next 12 months in some way. The actual physical and external manifestation of Jupiter in your sixth house will start coming from August onwards, and by July 2026, when Jupiter is finished with your sixth house, you'd have improved somehow through the right information, you'd have created maybe the right routine for yourself that is aligned to your vibration, because it's not for everyone, the healing modalities. One healing modality might be very harmful for another person and very amazing for you. And so there is this going into healing energy for yourself, intuitive knowledge, or even if you want to start a business, because sixth house connected to work, connected with the helping professions, it will be very good for you, say in healing professions. It might be in massaging, in energy healing, or in herbalism, or in workout, nutrition. If you're interested in any of those things, Jupiter would expand your knowledge or even allow you to start thriving over the next 12 months and to build a good foundation in such fields. Sixth house is also the house of, I remember when my husband was having Jupiter transiting his sixth house, was again very strong, was Jupiter in Pisces, so it manifests in very positive way, like it will manifest for us Aquarians in Cancer. My husband got really much into understanding herbs, into understanding supplements. He bought so many back then. And he was experimenting, trying. Jupiter puts you in experimental state, but it's also protecting you that you don't do the wrong medicine in some way. Or some of you might be like good to adjust their medicine and be, for ones that are more appropriate for them. And so, this can open this excitement, this knowledge about these areas of life, or this excitement and joy, because Jupiter is joy-giving planet, to find you the right routines, to find you the right and to expand your routines, your healthcare routines, that you feel joy while doing. Say you do exercise for mental health, or for maintaining your weight and your health, or to find just the right modalities for you in everyday routines, and you become passionate about that, doing it, or start experimenting and seeing different ways of doing things there. Also, sixth house is your work, your service that we're here to do. Well, Jupiter in the sixth house can expand your responsibilities and duties. There is this. But there is also the energy of joy, that you feel fulfillment and satisfaction, and you start seeing results and rewards from you taking on more responsibilities and duties in some way. Maybe you'd become more passionate about your work. Maybe if you're in the wrong work environment, sometime over the next 12 months, I cannot guarantee you it's already in July, even though there is a very powerful new moon where the Sun, Moon, and Jupiter align on the same degree, around 3-4 degrees in Cancer. That from the end of the month, there can be the opportunity or new business idea that comes to you, new work idea, or someone tells you, do you want to work here? Or maybe new employee, because 6th house is employees, or you employing the right people to help you do some task. Say you want to redo your flat, but you don't want to do it yourself. So Jupiter there over the next 12 months says you'll be working with quality people, Jupiter in Cancer. That will give you good ideas, that will help you, that the employees that you employ for something, or if you have your own business, you can expand the business with Jupiter in the 6th house. You can get a bigger office, so you can improve the quality of the size of your office or the size of your business. It's about, it expands. 6th house matters, business, work projects. Yes, it can mean more work projects as well. But also it can free you from certain duties and responsibilities that are not aligned to your dharma. What is dharma? This is Jupiter, which is not aligned to your highest good in some sense. So it can start sometimes as a crisis, June, July, that you let go of a job, or that you are dissatisfied with a job because Jupiter is squared by Saturn. So especially in June and July, it helps you see where in your work that you do in your service, there is liability. So maybe people that work for you, you might cut off some initially in June and July. It can start the opposite way a little bit. And you say, okay, this is a liability from my work. I'm spending too much time or energy or resources or money on some project that you realize it's losing you. You're just wasting your energy. And Saturn will help you squaring Jupiter from your 3rd house, will help you see exactly what aspects of your job or of the processes of your daily routines and your daily errands or of your daily responsibilities you're wasteful with, you're spreading yourself too thin, and help you hone in your focus towards more quality business project or work project or daily activities and daily habits that are so doing less initially, but more quality. And Jupiter gradually after July, August will expand your love and joy from this new job circumstances, those more quality work projects. So you're going to find over the next 12 months joy and fulfillment, and very possibly more expanded opportunities with jobs. So even if initially it can start because of the June is more like a square that is tense, so cut off the waste, see which sides don't work, kind of a inspection of your daily habits, inspection of your working processes that are, taking too much time, wasting, and focusing, and even slowing, even kind of curtailing a little bit your work initially, making it less. And after that, from August, when Jupiter is no longer squaring with Saturn, you start feeling the expansion and the growth. So some corrections that you might be asked or forced to do in your work, with your work environments, with clients, with employees, with colleagues, or work projects that you have to correct or remove some of them that are not right for you, or change jobs even sometimes. It will start paying off, and especially at the end of the year, it will be such a blessing, the hard changes that you had to make now, because Saturn will be trining Jupiter in your 6th house. So there might be even financial rewards in that direction, but you might be asked to do some hard work first, initially June, July, or decisions, or some kind of a sacrifice even in the 6th house or in the 3rd house where Saturn is. So another area of your life can grow. You might have to make some sacrifice, so later on you can say, for example, your mental health and physical health can thrive and grow in the next 10 months after that, after June and July. Or you might have to make some sacrifice in another area of your life so your work can prosper and grow in the next 10 months from July, August onwards. Or maybe some hard decisions and choices, because 6th house is also our self-medicating habits, or habits that, the habits through which we search and look to recover balance when things are imbalanced. And sometimes we can do self-medication, we can drink, we can smoke, we can take painkillers, so we can take other kind of substances. And if there are such unhealthy ones, especially June and July, you will become very aware of them. And you might be like a high time that you kind of curtail, or Saturn can give you the power to say no by squaring a planet in your sixth house. So some health issue initially increasing in June, July, or you worry about a health issue or imbalance increasing, so you can apply the square and use it. The best way is to deny yourself something, to let go of something. Neptune is to let go, it's going to square Jupiter. Saturn is to deny or say no to something, even to withdraw a little bit socially, because Saturn is in the third house. Neptune is to do some sacrifice socially about your interests, about how you spend your time. Third house is kind of like your interests, your so in the name of health, in the name of work, in the name of some long-term plans about your work and the prosperity of your more material side of life, which is the sixth house. Or you might have to, sixth house is also debt. So Jupiter can help you solve a debt there and be free from it, but it starts in June and July, but you first having to make some sacrifice, maybe some deprive yourself of some third house things, distractions, some things that you spend on other side, like for hobbies, for activities, because third house is very much connected to hobbies and activities in order to pay off your debt, for example. So there might be the need to compromise or kind of limit yourself in some way initially in June and July, so something later on can prosper and grow in the long term later into the year and into 2026. They can be what is also sixth house? Sixth house is the healing, the caring, profession, but all kind of work. Overall, over the next 12 months, the conditions of your work, the satisfaction with your work should increase, but it can start with initially some crisis to push us in that direction to take the right choice. And we also have the big Saturn-Neptune conjunction. It happens once every 35 years. It will never happen again in our third house as Aquarians. And it's starting something new in your life that will unfold over the next 35 years. And the seeds are being planted now in June and July when Saturn and Neptune are together. Then Saturn moves back for a few months. And then in February, it comes back again, February 2026, and joins fully Neptune in your third house and stays there for 2 years. So you're going to start feeling the seeds of some new beginning now already in June and July and into February 2026, about maybe starting something new connected to this third house, about changing your immediate environment, for example, changing your social circle. And you might have to initially to make a sacrifice. Neptune, Saturn is a bit of a sacrifice, letting go of people that you communicate your everyday life with. You might have to let go of those. Maybe, I know, you might move over the next 1 year, for example, and your social environment changes, or you just might, with your willpower, say, okay, I'm not going to spend time with those or those people. You might even find out some secrets about people around you that disappoint you, because Neptune, Saturn is like the bursting the bubble of illusion about third house, people, colleagues, people in your everyday environment, friends, siblings, relatives, neighbors, that makes you, want to find and surround yourself with a different class of people, different energy, or you shift your attitude towards such people. Maybe something in the circumstances of your siblings or relatives or people in your near environment can start shifting in a big way. And or maybe you just are going to a more serious frame of mind, Saturn and Neptune in your third house, that you don't want to waste time, especially third house is can be about wasting time on social media, scrolling, watching like reality shows. I'm enumerating all my vices now here through the third house. Just wasting time with third house is the information that you put through your knowledge, what you read, what you think about, what you talk about, your everyday communication, what your monkey mind is focused on. And Saturn Neptune will give you a great, incredible opportunity over the next 1-2 years to gradually cull all the wasteful and too much information and to sort out, because Saturn is like very good at sorting out, arranging the information that is more wasteful for you or deceptional, because Neptune is there. So to figure out which information or which wasting of time is deception or just wasting your mental energies, and to become more disciplined there. So you might, for example, start imposing on yourself limits to your social interactions so you can focus on work in the sixth house, or on healthy habits, or limit your scrolling and TV watching or Netflix watching so you can focus on something more productive, Jupiter in the sixth house. Or maybe just so you can have mental hygiene, Saturn in the third house with Neptune. And a lot of lies can be wrongful or information, misleading information, you can become aware of over the next 6, 7, 8 months with the Saturn Neptune conjunction there, and just decide to eliminate it. And I'll say stop watching news because of all the negative, and you'll be very impressionable with Neptune in your third house. What comes in your mind, it can affect your whole mind, your whole feelings, your whole vibration. So Neptune will make you receptive, and Saturn will be like the superintendent that it's like, this thought doesn't feel right, okay, I will not allow it, or I'm not gonna watch news, I'm not gonna talk to this person, I'm not gonna interact with this sapping my energy, I'm not gonna waste my time on just watching TV or whatever, all of those things. So some quality control there. But Neptune will also infuse you with new people in your environment that are more spiritual, but also with Saturn and a spiritual but practical. Not like that, ooh, just fly with the love, peace, namaste. There is also this energy of practicality, spirituality in practice, in the people around you, living, embodying in the flesh, Saturn, manifesting the spiritual principles and ideals. And also it will reveal to you fake people that are in your life. Third house is about people in your life. Fake people will be revealed, or people that are gossiping behind you or something like that. Or just somehow the universe will separate you gradually over the next 1 year during the Saturn-Neptune conjunction from people that are not, that play out their role in your life. There can be also some challenges in the life of siblings or relatives that I mentioned there, or some separation that happens. Saturn and Neptune, it's part of it. I cannot say for certain for everyone how exactly it is, which part is going to manifest. But also it can mean a new beginning. Saturn and Neptune starting a new cycle. Aquarians can be called for the next 35 years in some new role, to be the voice of something, third house, to be the spokesman of something, to spread information about something, information that is hopefully full of new ideals and that is put into actual action and reality through Saturn. Or third house is business projects. Third house is commercial business meeting, business activities, media project, marketing, or might be put in some very important role that gradually comes as an idea for you over the next 30, or okay, let's say it might not be the whole cycle of 35 years, but for a long period ahead that is being seeded in this year, next year, that about communication, about media, about AI. Third house rules apps, media, marketing, information, social media. But it's more like it's through your work and investment there, because Saturn is involved as well. And something will be shifting in your mind. Something will be shifting in, or maybe about training, teaching others, training, or maybe there will be something new that you are learning, new skills over the next 1-2 years. And Neptune is the inspiration, Saturn is putting it into reality, new skills that are more high vibrational for you, new information that comes to you. And yeah, that's how you interact and how you think about the world and what your internal dialogue is. Neptune and Saturn want to totally change your internal dialogue. And Neptune is hypnotism, Saturn is repetition. So I'm feeling it already coming into my third house, Saturn with Neptune. I started to self-hypnotize my mind by constant repetition of affirmations. When negative thoughts, because the low vibration of Saturn and Neptune is low, astral, negative thoughts, self-doubts, because the third house is your mind, what you're thinking, and such thoughts like, what's the worst will happen. Neptune is like fears that the subconscious. Saturn is the most negative outcome. And to overcome it, I said I'm going to use the high vibration of Saturn, Neptune. What is Saturn? Repetition and discipline, and mental, in the third house is mental hygiene. And Neptune is to, high vibrational affirmations. The spiritual means like almost magical, and hypnotism use. And the subconscious is Neptune. So you reach through your conscious mind, the third house, through repetition, Saturn, your subconscious, Neptune, to rewire it. So your internal dialogue is no longer a hot mess of negativity. And for many people initially who are not used to that, they can feel like, why am I feeling negative? Why am I talking? Why is negative thoughts in my head? And I'm picking up always, I'm seeing the worst in others or the worst in me and judging, because Saturn in third can make us more judgmental as well. Or why am I more susceptible to the negative words that come from others or moods? Because Saturn and Neptune in the third house, what we perceive from the environment. So raise the vibration by mental discipline, repeating affirmations in some sort to train it, mental hygiene, and so on, if you can. And as I said, they can be, as a start, some big cleanup of what you allow to enter your mind, who you talk with, changing there. And even if there's some tensions with people that you communicate initially, there's some important process that you're not aware of, that this is part of, that this conjunction is preparing you for. As I said, it can be starting a new big project in marketing, in business for some of you, new big project as a writer, as a speaker, as a communicator, as a media persona as well. It can play out in so many different ways. Also, your third house is transportation of any sort. And transportation, there might be trips that are more for work or because of spiritual reasons, Neptune, to heal your soul. But also it's like you have to be a bit more cautious with your cars, Saturn, Neptune. You might discover something that's broken in the car, or your devices, phone, electronics, that, Saturn, Neptune conjunction in June and July especially, and then in February or January, February, to anything to do with your communication, your transportation and communication devices, or information, passwords, such kind of stuff, to be a bit more protected, because Neptune, they can be invasion or undermining of passwords, of the safety of vehicles, the safety of devices, or hacking even. But Saturn will quickly expose such things and make you correct it, make it more safe and secure. Knock on wood, hopefully no hacking of accounts here, whatever. It's just sometimes some of the negative things of Saturn and Neptune can manifest, and I want to prepare you so you know. And again, start affirming positive things, but if it happens, just deal with it. And also, if there have been some festering things in relationships with your teammates, with your mates, siblings, they can come to the surface to be addressed now. Or call on your siblings, find out how they are as well. Or some important new chapter can be starting in the life of siblings. For example, my brother is expecting a baby, so I hope the Saturn Neptune is the brand new chapter in his life of more responsibility, and Neptune of feeling the unconditional love. So but sometimes it plays very good, sometimes it's a bit more difficult. So there you go. Saturn and Jupiter are squaring in June and July. There can be a bit of a mental tension or some important developments connected with, the third house, transportation, communication, online projects that needs to put more effort in to solve some problems, or with your work initially that we talked about. And after that, things will become better and better and easier. So yeah, there you go, Aquarius. Venus will be in your fourth house most of the month. Is a temporary influence just for June. Good time to connect with family, to spend time with family, to feel the connection with loved ones, your home, to beautify it, to, I don't know, buy a few flowers for your home, or see your parents, or reconnect with your mom, or with your own motherhood instinct and family. So thank you so much, Aquarius. And by the way, Uranus is entering your fifth house from July, our fifth house. So Jupiter leaves it, but Uranus comes there for 8 years. So we're still going to sparkle, have fun, be creative, genius, original, and be full of new original ideas. I'll speak more about that in my July videos, because Uranus in the fifth house is fire. I love it. And you'd feel, again, the spark of life come up with a lot of original ideas. But if you want to hear everything, if you like my way of teaching, I've done a 5-hour video on Uranus in Gemini, how it's going to affect every single sun sign, moon sign, ascendant. Say you might be Aquarius, but like me, I have Sun in Aries and Venus. Uranus will sextile my Sun and Venus and Mars and Mercury. I've given interpretations with personal real life stories, how it affects you. Maybe you're Aquarius, Uranus will trine you, or maybe your moon is in Sagittarius, Uranus will oppose it. What does it mean? With, again, real life stories from people I've been observing in my life. So you're prepared, you can get excited, so you're not shocked and surprised when Uranus, because it comes like a lightning. I just had a Uranus transit in my fourth house on the cusp. On the day, my daughter broke her hand out of the blue. All my family plans were for the summer. It changed the whole plan. Thanks God she's safe and okay. But like Uranus can really surprise us in ways we didn't plan for, and not like Saturn. We know with Saturn, we see it coming from far and we know what we have to correct. And, with Uranus, it's like, whoa, you're thrown out into a new direction. You need to be very flexible. But Uranus will be helping for the next 8 years, Aquarius, with the trine. So the changes will be very organic, natural, and welcome. Anyway, check it out. It's only $20. And it's usually such a course would cost $200-300, but I wanted to reach more people, so I tried to make it as affordable as possible. And then the price goes to $30 from July. So thank you.